Hey everybody, it's Jasmine. So today I'm bringing you guys a brand new series to my channel. I wanted to do this to really help you guys because I get questions very often about makeup dilemmas. How do I fix this? How do I fix this? And I just wanted to bring that all into one video just so that we can all refer back to it whenever we need help. A month ago, I asked you guys on my YouTube community page to let me know your makeup dilemmas just because I was simply bored. And I got 13 responses, which I thought was a lot. And I was like, oh my god, these are actually like dilemmas. And I feel like everybody goes through it, including myself. So I was able to actually help you guys there. And I wanted to bring some of those questions to this video because I think that in general, we all may face this one day or another. And I also took it upon myself to ask you guys on Instagram some of your makeup dilemmas, so I'm going to be answering those as well. The way I'm going to make this video is I'm going to go ahead and do my makeup while answering your dilemmas. And typically when I do my tutorials, I always start with my face and then I go in with my eyes. So here I have a list of questions for the face category. And a lot of you guys actually talked about flaky foundation, patchy foundation, and I'll get into that. But I wanted to focus something that was a little bit more specific. Shanti says that she has a really dry skin and around her nose it gets really crusty. So then when she puts foundation on top of her skin, it gets really flaky and patchy. So in order to help that, I recommend skincare. I mean, skincare in itself is probably the answer to the whole foundation, patchiness, wearing, all that stuff. And honestly, even for myself, it wasn't until last year when I found a skincare regimen that was actually helpful and actually benefiting my skin. Before, I was just using like your regular moisturizer, whatever was the cheapest on the market, whatever was on sale, and it wasn't until when my skin was actually like ripping and scabbing, I have a whole video on that, when I was like, oh my god, like I really need to invest in my skin and I really need to make sure that it is really prepped before I put any makeup on. Since you do have dry skin, I would recommend any type of face oil, especially at night. So during the night, your skin really absorbs the product because you're not outside, you're not exposed to any of the pollution outside, and you're in like a pretty like standard temperature room, like you're not in any place too hot or too cold, and your skin really soaks up the product between I think it's like about 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. So in that time your skin's really trying to regenerate and trying to really soak in the products that you did lay on top of your skin. I do have several skincare videos, and especially in the video that I talked about how my skin was flaking and how it was like all crusty, I used a lot of oils and I also used toner to help balance the pH of my skin, and I felt like that was honestly the best move that I made, plus layering an essence on top. And what an essence does, creates a barrier on your skin so that anything you lay on top of that sinks in way better. So toner, essence, and then your serum. So if you have a moisturizing serum or like a hyaluronic acid serum, put that on. Your skin's gonna want it. Your skin's gonna need it. And then you can go in with your moisturizer and then your oil. So one moisturizer that I will always highly recommend, and it's always on my #1 skincare list, is the Pacifica Coconut Probiotic Cream. I cannot live without this. I think I bought like 4 tubes of this already. Really inexpensive. I mean, it's not like the most inexpensive at the drugstore, but it is affordable, and it does go on sale from time to time. So you can definitely get this at an affordable price, and it's cruelty free. It really does hydrate the skin, but it doesn't leave your skin sticky. It honestly, to me, is a better version of the Too Faced Hangover RX Primer. If you've ever used that, you know it's already super hydrating, but this is way better, and it's a fraction of the price. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this much product and I'm going to evenly distribute this around my skin. I personally have normal skin, but I do know what it's like to have some dry skin because I went through it. So you really want to moisturize your skin, and you want to make sure that you're also implementing overnight mask in your routine. So what that's going to do is, after everything is said and done with your night routine, you put an overnight mask on and it just hydrates the crap out of your skin. Like, it is so amazing. So it only takes like a few seconds for this to dry, but this doesn't dry dry. It dries, but you feel very hydrated. There are some moisturizers that when you apply it, it literally, you can feel it sit on top of your skin. And yeah, when you're touching it, it obviously feels really soft and smooth because what is it doing? It's laying on top of the skin. It's not sinking in and giving your skin that really nice deep moisture. This will do it, and you will like it. Scarlett says, hey love, I have normal to dry skin and there's a huge dry patch between my eyebrows going slightly upwards. Do you have any creams or moisturizers you recommend? I also need help with putting on foundation because it always gets sticky and flaky. So if that is still happening to you in the daytime and the message that I just said doesn't work for you, you might want to apply the oil in the daytime. So I did say that you can apply your oil at night, but if you do have that one flaky spot on your face, go ahead with oil in that spot. It won't hurt. You just have to wait for it to sink in and not apply foundation right after you apply it. 10th Dr. Clara says that her foundation creases. Now, I am a huge believer in skincare, and if you were watching me literally in 2016, you know my whole dilemma for that year was smile line creasings. That was the worst dilemma because I was like, oh, maybe it's my foundation, maybe it's my powder, and I never associated it with skincare. That's why I was saying 2018 was the year when I noticed that skincare really made a difference, and that's why I'm literally trying to drill it into your head. But I found that actually using products that are like anti-age, anti-wrinkle, they do help, but my ultimate trick is using eye cream. I know that sounds weird. You're probably thinking, Jasmine, eye creams are really expensive. We don't need that. I don't even think it works. Honestly, same. But I realized that once I went through a whole bottle of this stuff, this one in particular, this one's by Yes2. It's their Fine Line and Wrinkle Eye Cream. This is their blueberry one. This actually made a difference. I've gone through a lot of like sample tubs of eye cream, and those actually last a very long time. You guys know if you've gotten a sample eye cream, you know how much that lasts you. But I realized when I was using this, I noticed that my entire face, because I do apply this all over my face, when I apply it all over my face, my skin looks amazing. And since you're using it long term, like you're using it every day, your skin is going to react beautifully. You're probably wondering, Jasmine, why are you even using eye cream all over your face? Now listen, this one had a pump, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna squeeze a whole pump on my hand. This is half a pump, by the way, and that's way too much. And what did I do with the extra product? I just rubbed it around my face. And I kept doing that because out of habit, okay? And then all of a sudden I noticed, oh my god, where are my smile lines? Like, they're not here anymore. And I realized, since eye cream is so potent and it's meant for the under eye area to decrease your wrinkles, decrease discoloration, and pretty much every eye cream is different, but this one is for your fine lines and wrinkles. I noticed that the fine line that I had right here, it completely vanished, and I don't have smile lines anymore. And it's very rare when I do, and when I do, it's because of the foundation and not because of my skincare. So that normally happens when I'm wearing really dewy foundations, like extreme dew. I always start in my smile line areas because I don't want her to come back, and then I will go in with the product on my forehead, and this will also decrease those fine lines that I do have on my forehead because I am a very expressional person. Now, your guys' main concern was foundation patchiness, foundation coming off, not staying on the skin, and I have the trick for you. Definitely finding the right primer is really crucial. There are so many primers on the market that claim that they're pore filling when they're not, and they claim that they will smooth out your skin, hold on to the foundation, and I genuinely feel like the only primer that I feel like really does the job and does it very well at a pretty affordable price is the Touch in Sol No Problem Primer. This is $18. But this is like $16, so like they're kind of the same. And you know, you can find this at Ulta, coupon, hello. great. And there was a drugstore primer that I did use, but then it was discontinued, so there's no point in mentioning it because you can't even find it. I can't even find it. But if you have tried the Touch in Sol No Problem Primer, it's amazing because when you really work it into the skin, it really does fill in the pores, but it doesn't feel like you're layering silicone on your skin, because that's pretty much what this product is. But it makes it smooth out so well, and it also has a little bit of a hydrating factor. Not too much, but not to the point where it's like super mattifying and it dries out your skin. So to answer your question, the way that I personally prevent foundation patchiness is, again, skincare, but also the primer. The primer is a huge part, and I am so low that I'm actually scooping this out with a brush, and I literally just work it in with 1 to 2 fingers, because I feel like when I use like my whole hand, like I'm always like dragging my face like this, and that's kind of not what you want. So I kind of just work in small little sections like this, and you will feel your skin getting instantly smooth, and it's amazing. Liz's dilemma is that her foundation comes off her nose. Now, that personally rarely happens to me unless I'm purposely rubbing my nose. So what I would probably recommend you is that you powder your nose before you leave your house. And I know you probably might already do that, but I'm talking about baking your nose. Baking it, or you could do the Jackie Aina trick where she applies the primer, the powder, and then the foundation. And I know that works for her because she's oily. I'm not oily, and I find that that method actually dries out my skin a little bit. So if you are like extremely oily, maybe that trick works for you. Personally, it just doesn't work for me, but there are options, and I personally would just recommend baking your nose or applying more of the primer onto that specific area where you feel like it comes off easy. Kimothy says that she loves the feel and finish of a foundation, but they don't have her shade. Now this has been my dilemma literally like my whole life until like last year when this launched. So what I used to do, so I have the Fenty 210. Now this is just a little too light for me. This foundation is a little too dark, but anyway. So what happens was whenever I applied 210 onto my skin, it has a peachy undertone, and I know you guys can't really see it, but on me, whenever a foundation claims to be neutral, which is what this claims to be, it always pulls pink on my skin because I'm yellow, hello? So what I do to fix that, you could do this with any type of powder that you own. If you have banana powder, mix that in with your foundation. It's as simple as that, or set your face with the banana powder. Your foundation will instantly match your skin. Now on the market there's lavender powder, pink powder, peach powder I should say, peach powder, white powder. If a foundation is too dark, go ahead, put that white powder in, and it just instantly matches you. It's as simple as that. It does alter the finish of the foundation to be a little bit more matte, but honestly you could finesse it and put some setting spray on your skin, and then it'll make it look a little bit more dewy and skin-like. So now that we're done with the face dilemmas, let's go into the eye portion. I am going to just finish off my face after I do this part, but I do have a question dilemma from Thamelini. I totally butchered that, and I know I did. But she says, hey, I love your makeup looks. Thank you. They always contain products that are affordable and just so creative. I find that my face isn't very symmetrical. Any tips on using makeup to create the appearance of a more symmetrical face? This is such a good dilemma. I mean, it's a good dilemma for me because I get to answer it for you. Okay, that was weirded really wrong. But the importance of eyebrows. I know everybody talks about like the perfect eyebrow and all this stuff, but no one really talks about how your eyebrows literally are the frame of your face. Now, if your one eyebrow is naturally higher, your face on one side of your face automatically kind of just shifts up as like an illusion, because that's how it works. That's how eyebrows work. It automatically makes everything look higher because the arch is higher. If my eyebrows go a little out, it shifts everything back like this. Like it just makes everything look wider. So if you know how to finesse your eyebrows, That's all you need to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my Wet n Wild eyebrow powder. I would use a different thing, but I only have my eyebrow powder in front of me. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna take a brow brush, my iconic E75. So what I do is I take the lighter shade, and this is where I'm going to carve my eyebrow. And this part is probably like the easiest part and the most crucial part. So I'm literally going to follow the natural shape of my brows, and this is the time when you want to match the front part of your brows together. So you want them to be at the same level at least. The front part is where it's at because that's the center of your face, okay? And that's where people are most likely going to focus on. So when you do that, I go to the other side and I try and make it so that it looks like there is a parallel line connecting my eyebrows together. Okay, so now let's move on into the top of the eyebrow. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the method that I always used to do when my eyebrows were uneven. So I always outlined my eyebrows before I filled it in, and I thought that that helped me see my guidelines. So what I did was I always started on the struggle arch. Now this one is my struggle arch because I don't have that much hair on it. So I look straight into a mirror, and instead of like going in like this with the mirror, you see at a distance what your eyebrows are looking like. So now this eyebrow, all I have to do is fill it in naturally because this one isn't my struggle brow, and you can see the outline. They're the same now. So all I have to do is just fill it in regularly and I'm done. Priscilla says a tutorial on how to cut crease. My entire channel is dedicated to cut creases. If you love cut creases, hello! The subscribe button's free. Oh my god, I never tell you guys to subscribe. Ooh. It feels weird. It feels weird telling you guys to subscribe to me. Oh, I don't like that. Anyway, she says a tutorial on how to cut crease. I am going to be doing this, and also there was another question regarding eyeshadow. Eliana says, hey Yin. Teachers call me Yin. Nobody really calls me Yin in real life. I have so much trouble with finding good eyeshadow and lipstick combinations. Will there be any videos addressing that, or how to match your makeup with outfits? Matching your makeup with outfits I feel like doesn't need its own video. I feel like if you wear, say, like a nude jacket, wear a nude lip. I don't know. I'm not really the type of person to really coordinate my makeup with my outfits, but if you're like wearing a red jacket, or if you're wearing a black jacket and it has like red details, you can match those red details with a lip or with your eyeshadow, and that'll look like you're matching but not doing the most. And the Juvia's Place is really, really pigmented. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the yellow. This is going on my Sigma E40. So I have almond shaped eyes, and I have pretty hooded and a very small eyelid. So what I like to do is I like to fake the appearance that my eyes are bigger than they actually are. So when I say that I'm putting something in my crease, I'm really putting something above my crease because that makes the illusion real. So now I'm just buffing the yellow in my transition, and this is going to be the base. So what you want to do is when you're working with the crease in your cut crease, you want to make sure that you are building it up from lightest to darkest. We're switching brushes into something a little tinier, so then this is going to help build the color but in a smaller section. So I'm taking the orange, and I am following the natural socket of my eye, but I'm also bringing it just a little bit higher, but not as high as the yellow. On a even smaller brush, I'm going to be taking the pink from the palette, and this again is going to go in my crease. And I'm not going to fade this up. I'm going to keep this pretty low. And if you feel like, oh my god, it's not blended, take that orange, which was the mid-tone shade, and I'm going to take that on that brush that I used to blend it, and right on that edge between the pink and the orange, we're going to bring back the orange So we are just going to run this right on that edge and make it a little bit more visible. In the outer corner area, with the brush that I had the pink on, I am honestly just like tugging it right at the outer corner, and when I naturally open my eyes, my brush only goes so far up, and that's where I want to bring it. I don't want to bring it any higher than that, and I'm just going to place this right on that outer corner to give this look a little bit more depth. To master the cut crease, all you got to do is take your concealer, apply it right on the eyelid, really close to your lashes, but not touching your lashes. And now you want to look up and down, and this will give you the guideline on where your cut crease should be. You want to take your concealer brush, go right into the inner corner, and bring it up to where that concealer was. And then now, if you want to make the cut crease bigger, now's your time to do so. It's easier to go higher with the concealer than bring it lower, so keep on checking in the mirror to make sure that this is really what you want. Now you can put any type of lid shade that you want, or if you want to leave it like this color, you could just set it with translucent powder, and then it won't really affect anything. It would just make the cut crease a little bit more long wearing. But in the palette, I'm going to take this green because she's beautiful. And then I'm just going to pack that right on top of the concealer. Oh, and that reminds me, I did have a question about somebody asking about comfort zone. Marley asked me, I am a huge fan of ShopMissA and almost all my makeup is from the site. Me too, sis. But no matter what colors I use, my makeup look is almost exactly the same. I don't know how to get out of my pattern. As far as getting out of your routine, girl, this isn't part of my routine, but you know what I did? I took a palette that had color, and say I'm just one day going, oh my god, I never use green. That should be the day when you use green, because you never use green. Or if you're like, ooh, this purple's really poppin', use the purple. Try and find a way to incorporate that color that you have in your collection that you just don't use. Whether it's one color, two colors, maybe this row, and you're just like, ooh, I always see myself doing a look with those 3 colors, but I've never gotten around to do it. Do it that day. Find an excuse to do it. A date night, a girls' night out, do it. Your birthday. That's the perfect day, because that day is for you. That is the day where you should experiment for what you want to do. And also, don't be afraid if people are gonna judge you. Whatever. Makeup washes off at the end of the day. It's fine. Besides, they didn't buy your palette. They didn't buy your makeup. You bought it. So you use it. Who cares? Dee's Makeup Blast on Instagram says, frickin' winged liner. Honestly, girl, same. Actually, eyeliner was the first thing I actually ever mastered. Now, I spent years trying to find my foundation color match. I tried for years trying to find a good eyebrow routine, and I finally found it after like a million years. And, you know, I was struggling to find my perfect nude. Eyeliner, this took me like not that long to figure out. Man, I think it was because it was the only makeup product I ever had that was really consistent. And so what I always recommend is my Physicians Formula Eye Booster Pen. Hi, Physicians Formula, please sponsor me. For real, this eyeliner is absolutely amazing, and you bet your ass I have tried Stila, Kat Von D, NYX. I have tried the whole 9 yards. Pretty much like all of the drugstore eyeliners, like you name it, I've probably tried it. And I can genuinely say from the bottom of my heart, the one that I repurchased the most, the one that I swear by the most, is this one. This one is also infused with a serum that helps your eyelashes grow. It's amazing. Like, it's just the best. And this also has a brush tip. Now, if you're unfamiliar with brush tip, felt tips, all that stuff, and you just don't know the difference, a felt tip to me is like a shirt. You're like having a shirt material drag your eyeliner, and it just doesn't work. And I've tried so many felt tip eyeliners. Sometimes they're plastic tip eyeliners. Those ones are horrible. Don't use those. And when you want a quick application, when you want an application that is smooth, doesn't tug on the eyes, maybe you have wrinkles around your eyes and you're just like, oh, I can't find an eyeliner that works really well. Maybe try a brush tip. The tip matters. So what I do with eyeliner, well, I do have two methods, and I do have a video talking about my two methods of eyeliner, but what I'm going to show you is probably the beginner level eyeliner method. So what I do is I start at the end of my eye and I make a line like that. Now I make my line going towards my eyebrow, almost as if I extended the line of my eyebrow, and if I extended the line of my eyeliner, they would just touch. Okay, and when I started eyeliner, I loved the triangle method. That's what some people call it. Okay, so what that is that you make a triangle with your eyeliner. So now I have a gap between the line that I made and then the line that I just created. And then all that's left is to fill in that triangle and add the line on your lash line. So, and then once that is completed, I lay my pen flat like this and I just touch the lash line and it'll deposit the eyeliner for you. So I finished the look. I wasn't able to dust off the fallout. So this is what happened. Like, I don't know, the brushes were here, the palette was there. They just went together. I add some hearts, and I added a pink lip. So I hope my answers were able to help you guys with some of your dilemmas. I'm obviously not like a beauty guru. I don't know the ins and outs of makeup like a lot of other people, but I do understand your guys' situations, and I hope that my experiences through makeup were able to help you guys make some changes in your routine. So that's all I can really ask for. If you have any other dilemmas, feel free to leave them down below. Maybe I'll include it in my next episode of Makeup Dilemmas, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye! Peace out, Girl Scouts.